All right, everybody, we're back for part two. We had a wonderful conversation last week when we were talking about does size really matter? And we spent most of our time talking about men and their penis size. It's one of those things that men really don't like to talk about because it's a very sensitive subject, but it's so necessary to talk about it because we want to debunk the myth that it's all about size, because it ain't. It's more about your connection as husband and wife. Do we love each other? Do we communicate? Are we romancing? Are we dating? Are we connecting? Are we making healing love? It ain't just about pounding, it's about connecting. But I want to go to part two of this subject, baby, and this is where you can jump in, and you're the expert on this. Do women struggle with their size?
Absolutely. Women, we struggle with our size on everything.
Like what?
We struggle with the size of our breasts, the size of our body, the size of our bottoms, the size of our lips.
Really?
So women struggle with a lot of things. Not all women, but most women struggle with something.
When you were growing up, what was the measurement for the ideal body type? As a little girl, what do you remember looking at as what a sexy body looks like?
As a little girl, I would have to say my Barbies, because Barbie had boobs.
That's it.
That's it. And a townhouse.
Barbie, as I remember, Barbie was boobs on a stick.
Boobs on a stick.
She was just skinny, big boobs, no behind, blonde hair. There weren't very many African American Barbie dolls.
Not at that time.
In like the early 80s, 70s, 80s. I think
70s.
probably closer to the early 90s, we started seeing some chocolate Barbies come through, but they still had that same body type.
They did.
And then something happened in the 1960s. In 1960, there was a Dr. Pontegay in Brazil who started a practice known as a BBL, a Brazilian butt lift.
Okay.
But in 1918, there was another Brazilian doctor who practiced eugenics to where they were trying to erase the African features from Brazilians. They were doing surgeries to take away features like big butts and noses and lips because they didn't want to identify with African broad noses and lips and hips. Have you ever wanted to take your love life and marriage to another level?
Ladies, do you want to bring romance back to your relationship and get that old thing back?
We got you. It's time for our second annual Naked and Unashamed Marriage Conference called Love in the Bluff on June 7th through the 9th at the beautiful Hyatt Centric Hotel overlooking the mystic Mississippi River. We will be leading one of the most exciting and engaging marriage retreats you've ever experienced.
At Love in the Bluff, we will be teaching you and your spouse how to be building intimacy. We want to show you how to restore that erotic connection between you and your spouse.
L is for liberating fantasies. How do you ask your spouse for the love you've been dreaming about?
And the U is for unveiling communication. We want to teach you how to turn towards each other and not away from each other.
The F is for fueling desire. We want to teach you some tantalizing techniques to put fire back into your lovemaking.
And the other F is for fun and playfulness. We are going to have some interactive playtime to teach you how to enjoy each other and rediscover how to pleasure your spouse. All of this will take place in the Bluff City at Hyatt Centric Hotel, where we have a block of 20 rooms.
There will be a rooftop party that Friday night, and we will be dancing the night away. And then when it's all over that night, we're going to send you back to your rooms for some playtime with the goodie bags that we're going to give you after registration.
Now, on that Saturday morning after breakfast, we will have our time of work and play as we go over new material to take your love making to higher heights.
On Saturday night, we will be attending one of the most amazing showcases of R&B talent in the Mid-South area. We've partnered with 901 Live, hosted by Dr. Derek and Darkest Pain. It's going to be amazing. Y'all know Rhythm and Blues started in Memphis.
Then on Sunday after checkout, we will have brunch at Sugar Grits. It's a time to take your love on top and meet us for Love in the Bluff. This retreat will sell out, and you can go secure your spot today by going to drstacylspencer.com and register for Love in the Blood.
We hope to see you and your spouse in Memphis for our 3-day Naked and Unashamed Marriage Retreat. We will see you on top. But going back to 1960 with the BBL, that doctor began to teach doctors around the world this technique. And then somewhere around the 70s, we had songs like, she's a brick house. She's mighty that, just letting it all hang out. What was her measurements? 34, 26, 37?
34, 26.
37. So she had breasts, small waist, and big hips. Then we fast forward to, was it the late 80s? Sir Mix-a-Lot. And I like big butts and I cannot lie. Those other brothers can't deny. And the epilogue to that song was these two white girls saying, "Oh, Becky, look at her butt. It's so big. She looks like one of those rap guys' girlfriends. She's so black." And then Sir Mix-a-Lot comes in. So how do we go from boobs on a stick to these curvaceous women? Because for the longest, black women were shunned because of their curves. And it was perpetuated that in order to be a model, you had to be the skinny stick with boobs, and sometimes not boobs.
Nothing.
But now, what's it like now?
Well, now, we're getting back to natural bodies, but probably over the last 15, 20 years, there's been this crazy epidemic that what you have is not enough. Everything is supersized. Supersized breasts, supersized lips, supersized behind, where it was cartoonish in nature. And it was okay in the eyes of some to be cartoonish in nature. And they're not really thinking of long term of you're going to be 70 years old one day and you still have these measurements if gravity hasn't taken over. But it was back then, in the last 15 years, the ideal woman had to be over busty, over hips and butt, lips, because it was portrayed in every rap song, in every magazine, on social media, even in some commercials, where if you were not looking like this, then you were deficient in nature.
So how do you reverse that trend with these young girls? If you had a daughter or a niece and she felt a certain way because her breasts were not big or her buttocks were not big like what she sees on TikTok or on Instagram or on these video vixens, what would you tell a young girl about her body, loving her own body?
Well, it all starts with the mind, on teaching how to love the skin that you're in, what God has given you. Now, yes, there are instances where if you've had to have breast replacement surgery, those rare cases, but there's nothing that should make a person where you throwing your boob over your shoulder, where it's that big, where it's causing back problems, or you're getting a BBL and it's so. I had a friend whose husband was encouraging her to get this BBL, and I did all this research for her, and I was like, please don't do this. This is the most dangerous surgery out there. The recovery time for the surgery, the toxins that could leak into your own bloodstream, it just doesn't make right sense.
It's some of the stories I've heard is nightmarish. Women going in these back alley clinics, getting fix-a-flat, put in their behinds.
That poison.
And they've had to get legs amputated, arms amputated. Even famous folk like K. Michelle, who has come on TV and said, she got her butt implants taken out because it was making her toxic. And famous women like the Kardashians.
Right, they've all
reversed
everything.
They've reversed it and taken those BBLs out, those implants out, because it was painful. And so I'm glad to see that the trend is reversing itself, but the damage has already been done.
Right.
And I think what happens is that the mind frame of our young women has been poisoned to think that they are commodities to be consumed through the visual consumption of men and not being in love with how God has already made them.
Right, right.
I've told you time and time again, I love your curves. I love how you're made. I love your stretch marks, you know, from where you've given birth to my babies. I love you unconditionally, but there's times when you kind of come to me and you're like, babe, do I look all right in this outfit? I'm getting too big. And I'm like, no, you're not.
Well, as women, there are always things that we think that we can improve upon. And some of that is within our control without the use of going to a doctor. Like, one, if you're not pleased with your size, if you gain too much weight, then do what you need to do to have a more healthy lifestyle and lose that weight. Because yes, it will start affecting your knees and everything else as we become older.
Hey everybody, it's Spencer stopping by. We got some exciting news. Eden Circle is back open. That's right. We have a Inner Circle program that helps you to take your marriage to the next level through some personalized mentorship. There's two things that are needed in order for your marriage to make it. You need some great coaches. Rhonda and I have been married for 30 plus years, and we want to share with you some of our experiences. And then you need a community of people who are trying to stay married. Wouldn't it be great to share ideas and to build stories together with other couples who are trying to make it? Baby, tell them the benefits of being in our circle.
Some of the benefits of being in our circle is, like Stacy said, the mentorship, the counseling. We have master classes, quarterly meetups. We have fun together. We teach different techniques because we believe in the sanctity of marriage and we want to keep married people married.
And if you're going to be married, you might as well have fun doing it. We want to help you to show you how to have fun, how to take your lovemaking to the next level, your communication, and to help you in spots when you get stuck, to help you get out of those ruts by coaching and mentorship. So simply go to, listen, if you want to be a part of this circle, go to www.theedencircle.com and register today. We want you in our inner circle.
But I think we need to love our bodies the way God has intended for them to be.
Because it's not about being skinny.
No, being skinny is a thing of the past. You don't really, if you're skinny, then I remember being in college, I could not wait to gain that freshman 15. I didn't get my freshman 15 until I was married with 3 kids. Then I want to lose 15 pounds. So it's like that obsession with wanting to be more. And because it's showing that you're, for a man, most men in the past have wanted the curvy woman. They're showing these video vixens, but it's in the mind.
I think it's important that women love their body type.
Absolutely.
Whether you a petite frame, whether you big boned, whether you are voluptuous, it's about loving who you are. There's no specific body type that is the ideal body type. It's loving your curves, your breasts, your stomach, your buttocks, your thighs. If you got some dimples in your legs, if you got some stretch, you got to love all of that. And men, you got to love your wives and encourage them and say, baby, I love every part of you. I think we get so caught up on perfection that we have abandoned the love for what's real. I like what Kendrick Lamar says. He says, show me something real like afros and stretch marks. I've told you before, I love seeing a confident woman. Like when I see a woman that's bald and she walks with confidence, and I take that over somebody who feels like they got to go buy yards of hair just to look pretty. The point is, do you love yourself?
Right.
I want to ask you this question. Do you think it's ever okay for a woman to go pay for enhancements?
I do. I think it's okay as long as they're natural looking, as long as it's something that is not going to change her.
What do you mean?
Change, like now that you have gotten, a breast lift, or now you're walking around showing your boobs to the world. But as long as you are confident in what you have, and you're not like I'm trying to say, having multiple surgeries, it could be addictive.
Okay. So, for example, if a woman who's given birth and she's breastfed,
Right.
and her boobs have paid the price
Absolutely.
of breastfeeding, and they're drooping or they don't have as much elasticity as they used to.
Right, the fullness is
Some
gone.
women go get augmentation to get breast lifts,
Right.
to give that firmness. So something like that.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
healthy.
And then also, like, there are women who have big children, and their fascia and their stomach has, because of the muscle, and that's not anything that you can repair through working out. It has to be repaired through surgery. Those kind of things.
Mommy makeovers.
Yes, but I'm not talking about going and getting the mommy makeover is the butt, the stomach, and the boobs, and you come out looking like somebody totally different, because all of those surgeries in and of themselves can be very dangerous. So you have to pick your poison. You've got these women that's walking around getting these fillers in their lips, and it's not necessary when God created us, some with thin lips and some with very full lips. I read an article now, there's this thing of getting your lips tattooed to have a more natural look. So now that's a thing. So there's always going to be something that's in the media that's going to make a woman feel like, oh, this is what you need to do now, as opposed to let's be comfortable in the skin that we already have.
And how do you do that? How do you fall in love with your body type as a woman so you're not stressing over, oh, I'm too big or I'm too skinny, I need to lose weight? What's the balance between loving your body and not being obsessed with your body not being the way you want it?
I think that a great idea of loving your body is creating a healthy lifestyle, working out, eating healthy, not overindulgent in sweets, things that are not good for you, making sure that you do all things in moderation. That's loving your body, making sure that you are getting your facials, making sure that you're loving on yourself, doing that mirror work. And what I mean about mirror work is getting in the mirror, a tall mirror, fully naked, and go give yourself affirmations from the top of your head to the soles of your feet, saying, yes, I like my big forehead. Yes, I like my wide nose. I like my semi-thin lips.
What about your yoni?
And I'm working my way down.
Okay.
So you got to work you gotta have affirmations for every part of your body, because if you don't love your body, how can you expect your spouse to love your body?
So how about your yoni?
Oh, you gotta look in your yoni. You gotta make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be. I bet some of you women have never taken a mirror to look at your vagina. You don't know what your folds look like. You don't know what your clitoris looks like. Your gynecologist doesn't need to be the only person that knows what your vagina looks like. You need to know what your vagina looks like.
We talked about men in the first, if you ever seen the first episode to what we're talking about tonight, I talked about how men have some insecurities around their penis size. And do you think women have some insecurities around their vagina size? How the lips hang, or how tight or how loose it is? Do you think women struggle with that? Hey everybody, it's Spencer stopping by. We got some exciting news. Eden Circle is back open. That's right. We have a Inner Circle program that helps you to take your marriage to the next level through some personalized mentorship. There's two things that are needed in order for your marriage to make it. You need some great coaches. Rhonda and I have been married for 30 plus years, and we want to share with you some of our experiences. And then you need a community of people who are trying to stay married. Wouldn't it be great to share ideas and to build stories together with other couples who are trying to make it? Baby, tell them the benefits of being in our circle.
Some of the benefits of being in our circle is, like Stacy said, the mentorship, the counseling. We have master classes, quarterly meetups. We have fun together. We teach different techniques because we believe in the sanctity of marriage, and we want to keep married people married.
And if you're going to be married, you might as well have fun doing it. We want to help you to show you how to have fun, how to take your lovemaking to the next level, your communication, and to help you in spots when you get stuck, to help you get out of those ruts by coaching and mentorship. So simply go to, listen, if you want to be a part of this circle, go to www.theedencircle.com and register today. We want you in our inner circle.
I don't think black women have an issue with their vagina size.
Why do you say black women?
Because there is a surgery that a lot of non-black women are getting to decrease the lip size, where they
tightening up the canal.
Not just I'm not talking about the canal. I'm talking about the vulva, the lips around it. They're pretty much butchering themselves, all for the sake of what they would think a pretty vagina is.
And that's the thing. Vagina, lips, the labia, the major and the minor labia, they all look different.
They're all different, and they all serve a purpose.
And the reason I say that is that I think women and men need to love the size that God gave them, and I think women need to fall in love with how their lips look, and not compare it to anything they've seen on TV or any pornography. And I think that's why pornography is so dangerous, is because we look at some of this photoshopped images of labias and penises, and they pick certain types of women and men, and you're thinking, okay, I got to look like that. No, you can look like you.
All right.
You know, I will say this, that some men probably feel intimidated if you're married and you've ever been in the delivery room with your wife and you see the head of your child coming out of that vaginal canal, and you're like, I will never be able to compete with that. What would you say to a woman who has given birth to a child and she has some thoughts around her vaginal canal? Is it as tight as it used to be? What can she do to get her vaginal canal back strong after giving birth?
Well, of course, you have to give it the rest. You know, God does his thing. God is all in that miracle working business of letting you deliver a child vaginally, and he puts everything back into perspective. And it takes time once you have that child for it to heal. So in the healing process and after the healing process, if you still don't think that your vagina is as tight as it used to be, there's the Kegel. You know, you can do the Kegel exercises where you releasing, you know, your vagina muscles, and you holding and releasing like you're peeing. But even when you're not peeing, you can do this when you're sitting on the toilet and peeing. Mm-hmm. You know, hold, release, hold, release. And then there's the little balls that you can put up in your vagina that will also help to tighten up your vagina.
Mm-hmm. And you talked about how as women age, that their walls can thin out because of a lack of estrogen. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I think that is needed for women, you can help me, is more lubrication.
Absolutely. Lubrication. Oh my gosh, lubrication. Lubrication when you don't even think you need lubrication, because, oh my God, it helps everything.
What's your favorite lubrication?
My favorite lubrication is coconut oil. It is one of, you know, we tried the estrogel, the KY, and if that is your go-to, then that's fine.
What's the other one you like? Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, no. Let me hip you out to this. Yes, yes, yes it's a Canada base. It's in Canada, but it's a suppository that you put up in you, and you just squeeze it, and it Oh my gosh, it's so, it's good. It's really good.
I think she needs an endorsement. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, I need an endorsement.
But we're talking about, does size really matter? And for me, I love how God made us, our bodies match each other. We're kind of average stature. Our bodies fit like a glove to each other.
What average stature?
I'm
what you mean?
5'8".
Oh, I'm short. I'm short. I'm 5'2".
What's the average size of a woman?
5'5".
Oh, so you're a little shorter than that?
I'm way shorter.
Well,
I'm
I'm
5'2".
average.
I'm okay being short.
But we match. And you know, what's crazy, y'all, is that when I was younger, I was 4'11" and 90 pounds all through high school. I didn't grow until I got to college. And so a lot of women would not talk to me because I was too short. So when I finally met Rhonda in college, I'm like, finally, somebody that matches my stature. And so I love how God created you. And I love the fact that you love how God created
Absolutely.
me. And we are both satisfied with one another. And there's been seasons where we've had to talk to each other about, you know, my wife is like, I'm gaining too much weight. I don't like my body. And I would reassure her, baby, I love you in whatever size you are. And there's been times when I've gained weight, when my testosterone was off and my equipment was not working like it was, but my wife was patient with me and loved me through that. And I think it's important that we continue to have these, these heartfelt, vulnerable conversations about where it is, because in every age and stage, your body is going to go through something different.
Right.
Your body is going to be changing over time. But the beautiful part is that the longer you stay together, the more your libidos begin to match, because as my testosterone drops, my wife's testosterone increases. Because her estrogen drops and her testosterone goes up, our libidos kind of meet at a certain point in middle age. And so we're probably closer there now than we've ever been before. Because when I was younger, I used to want it all the time, every day. Still want it a lot.
Right, I was going to say, but it's changed.
I still want it a lot, but you want it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of matching now. But this size matter. Let's just hit this one more time.
Okay.
Do you think, as a woman, that size really matters? And I want you to say why or why not.
For a man or for a woman?
I want you to talk from the perspective of a woman. Does my penis size really matter to you? And I want you to be honest. Why or why not?
No. Size does not matter, because we are connected on so many other levels outside the size of your penis. Now, if I was just only attracted to your penis, then I would be a very shallow individual. But I love every part of you. So the reason is that we connect on a spiritual level, on a friendship level. Our foundation is there. So if that wasn't there, of course there may be some rockiness, but it's there.
So my size is just icing on the cake.
Oh, it's the cherry, baby. It's the cherry.
And I would say the same for you. And I've just said it in this podcast. I said, every size you've been, from that little skinny girl in college that was praying that she would gain some weight, to this curvaceous, voluptuous woman that you are right now, I've loved every variation. And I'm going to continue to love it, because I love you. I love your soul. I love your spirit. I love your personality. And it doesn't help that you are fine. And I like every curve. I love every curve. So, yeah, y'all, that's what we wanted to talk about tonight. Is there anything that we did not cover about the size matter? I think we have gotten messed up from media,
Definitely.
TV, movies, pornography. We've got to go back and rediscover how to be erotically conscious and present with how God made us. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. God created us and broke the mold. Whether you're big or whether you're small, whether you're tall, whether you're short, whether you're 10 inches or 5, whether you have big breasts or small breasts, a big butt or a smaller butt. All of it is how God intended you to be. And the key is to find somebody, hallelujah, who appreciates how God made you. He shaped you when you were in your mother's womb. He shaped you the way you're supposed to be made. You need to get in the mirror, my brother. You need to get in the mirror, my sister, and fall back in love with your own body.
Right.
Look in the mirror and say, I like my nose. I like my big forehead. I like it. I like my beard, my salt and pepper beard. I like my biceps. I like my chest. I like my stomach. I like my legs. You got to touch yourself.
Right.
Be familiar with what pleases you. What would you say to the women? Look in the camera and tell the women.
Ladies, you have to love yourself totally before you can even think about a man loving you. What confidence you will exude when you are in that relationship with your covenant partner or your husband, knowing how you're confident and pleased in your own vessel that God has designed. How can you expect him to love you totally if you don't love yourself totally? And that's regardless of what size you are. Because guess what? We're all changing. Our bodies are changing as we age. And we want to be able to be better, not by giving thousands of dollars to a surgeon to make us look like what we think social media's norms are. We have to love ourselves for ourselves, and that will carry over in all of our relationships.
We have to take the time to mutually love each other's body. I mean, take your time. It's not about, again, pounding flesh. It's not about having the perfect body type. It is about the quality of your lovemaking. And again, for women, it's more about stamina. Am I right? It's about making it last. Like Keith Sweat said, make it last forever. The average sex
We don't
act,
want it to last forever.
not forever. The average sex act lasts 3 minutes to 13 minutes. But the sweet spot is around 13 minutes. And so men, if you can concentrate on the love-making act lasting longer, building up your stamina through exercise. If you need some supplements like Viagra or Cialis, if you need some beet extract to help your erection, if you need extra oral stimulation, do that. Same thing with your wives. My wife said, I've got more to me than just my nipples and my clitoris. There's the neck, there's the arms, there's the legs, there's the toes. Lord, it's the foot massage that my wife loves. All of those things are encompass lovemaking. It's not just about specific body parts. It's about loving the entire body. So size doesn't matter the way way society says it matters. It's not about big butts. It's not about big penises. It's about big hearts.
Right.
It's about the biggest sex organ that you have, which is what?
The brain.
The brain. You got to get rid of that stinking thinking. Who told you that you were inadequate? Who told you your butt wasn't big enough? Who told you your penis was... No. Those are lies, intrusive lies that have been perpetuated by society. God made you the way you're supposed to be made. And when you make healing love, that connection you have with your spouse is the most important thing. Not the size of your anatomy, but the size of your heart. We hope that this has helped you all. We enjoy talking to you. I know some of y'all may be a little cringy, like, oh, I can't believe that. Listen, get over yourself. Because this is stuff you learn in biology. This is stuff you learn. It's in the Bible. Go read the whole Song of Solomon. Read the whole book and see how erotic it is, how descriptive it is of body parts. Even Proverbs chapter 5, it says, enjoy your wife's breasts. Enjoy your wife in your youth. Drink from your own cisterns. It's in there. And so there's nothing to be ashamed about, but it's so much for you to enjoy. Baby, can you tell them why they need to come and join Love in the Bluff June 7th through the 9th?
June 7th through the 9th is our marriage retreat here in the city, Love in the Bluff. We are going to take your love and your love making to the next level.
Come on up in here.
We want to be able to teach you things that other than your missionary position. Okay? We want to take you out of vanilla and give you some different
31 flavors, baby.
It's 31 flavors?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we want to be able to help you get out of the stigma of not asking for what you want, but being comfortable with your spouse and asking for what you want, expressing those desires and fantasies. That's going to take place when we do our workshops in Love in the Bluff. We're going to have fun. We're going to do some dancing. We're going to have real talk, dialogue, and that's going to all take place June the 7th through the 9th.
Let me tell y'all something. We get lit. We are not some boring, stale, stiff couple. We have fun. We teach you stuff that you're not going to learn in Sunday school. You may be too afraid to go do your own research and read it on a book. We're going to go there. We're going to take the gloves off and we're going to talk about how do you build intimacy? How do you liberate your fantasies? How do you unveil communication? How do you fuel desire, put some fire back in your marriage? And how do you have fun? If you're going to stay married, it shouldn't be boring. It shouldn't be a sexless marriage. Y'all should be having a great time chasing each other around the house and swing from the chandeliers if you want to, especially since some kids are gone. And even if you have small children, we want to teach you how we made it through our love life when we had small babies. You can keep that love alive whether you've been married 3 years or 50 years.
No, let's take it. Whether you've been married 3 days,
right,
or 50 days. So it doesn't matter where you are in your stage of marriage. We have something for every stage of your marriage.
And there's no excuse. We've made it affordable for you. We've chopped it up into payments. Your payments will include 2-night stay. It will include tickets to a concert, a 901 Live R&B concert. We're going to have a rooftop party. You're going to get a swag bag. You're going to get 5 workshops. You're going to get a free lunch. All of that is included in your price. And we have a payment plan, but we only have 20 blocks of rooms. So what are you waiting on? Come on, let's get this fire relit. Let's get that passion back in there. And let's make love like it was intended to be, on top. All right. Listen, also, don't forget the Eden Circle is back open. We have a small group of people that we meet with monthly, that we coach, that we mentor. Eden Circle is an exclusive circle of people who are trying to stay married, trying to learn how to be erotically conscious. Rhonda and I do counseling. We coach you. We have a master's class every month. We do quarterly meetups. We go on retreats together. It is thebomb.com. You need to get in the Eden Circle. And so you want to be a part of that, go to theedencircle.com. Listen.
Oh, we didn't tell you how to register for Love in the Bluff.
Oh, yeah.
Go to drstacylspencer.com. Click on the icon for Love in the Bluff.
Yeah, we love you guys. We hope that this has been good for you. And listen, don't forget, we got something coming up in March. We got the March on Marriage.
Yes.
Meet us. For those who live in Memphis or in the Bluff City area, in the Mid-South area, we're going to have a March on Marriage. Why? Because we believe that marriage is so important. Marriage, I think Black Love Marriage Day is March the 26th, but we're going to march on March 16th to down by Tom Lee Park, and we're going to have a mass wedding vow renewal. We're going to have dancing. We're going to have food. We're going to have fellowship, and couples from all over the Mid-South are going to converge on Tom Lee Park. And if you want to be a part of that, all you have to go, you got to go to www.tntworld.com, tntworld.com, and register for the March on Marriage. That's enough. We give you so much tonight. So please, if this blessed you, would you please write in the comments, this was good? Would you write a review? Would you share it? Would you tell your other friends about it? Because we believe that other people know that size matters, but what ultimately matters the most is the size of your heart and your connection for one another. Have we told you lately that we love you? We love you and we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for being our partners. And if you have not subscribed to Naked and Unashamed SLS, what are you waiting on? Subscribe and share. We love you, and we'll see y'all guys next week. Have you ever wanted to take your love life and marriage to another level?
Ladies, do you want to bring romance back to your relationship and get that old thing back?
We got you. It's time for our second annual Naked and Unashamed Marriage Conference called Love in the Bluff. on June 7th through the 9th at the beautiful Hyatt Centric Hotel overlooking the Mystic Mississippi River. We will be leading one of the most exciting and engaging marriage retreats you've ever experienced.
At Love in the Bluff, we will be teaching you and your spouse how to be building intimacy. We want to show you how to restore that erotic connection between you and your spouse.
L is for liberating fantasies. How do you ask your spouse for the love you've been dreaming about?
And the U is for unveiling communication. We want to teach you how to turn towards each other and not away from each other.
The F is for fueling desire. We want to teach you some tantalizing techniques to put fire back into your lovemaking.
And the other F is for fun and playfulness. We are going to have some interactive playtime to teach you how to enjoy each other and rediscover how to pleasure your spouse. All of this will take place in the Bluff City at Hyatt Centric Hotel, where we have a block of 20 rooms.
There will be a rooftop party that Friday night, and we will be dancing the night away. And then when it's all over that night, we're going to send you back to your rooms for some playtime with the goodie bags that we're going to give you after registration.
Now, on that Saturday morning after breakfast, we will have our time of work and play as we go over new material to take your love making to higher heights.
On Saturday night, we will be attending one of the most amazing showcases of R&B talent in the Mid-South area. We've partnered with 901 Live, hosted by Dr. Derek and Darkest Pain. It's going to be amazing. Y'all know Rhythm and Blues started in Memphis.
Then on Sunday after checkout, we will have brunch at Sugar Grits. It's a time to take your love on top and meet us for Love in the Bluff. This retreat will sell out, and you can go secure your spot today by going to drstacyelspencer.com and register for Love in the Bluff.
We hope to see you and your spouse in Memphis for our 3-day Naked and Unashamed Marriage Retreat. We will see you on top.